welcome back to It's Giving Realty podcast, the podcast that gives you all the realty in real estate. I was sitting thinking, I said to myself said yes. I said, how can I continue to grow knowledge about home ownership with new construction, right? But it be reasonably priced, grant programs be an option, financial education be a choice. And then I said to myself said yes. I said, why don't you just have Deneka on the show? She's the director of education and financial coach for People Housing Plus. And so that's what I did. Hey, Deneka.
Hello, beautiful.
How are you?
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. You look amazing. First of all, the brown, the white, it's given. I
It's
see what
given,
you did.
right? It's the shades of brown.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks
Thank
good.
you.
But no, I appreciate you sitting down with me. I know everybody is running like crazy. Everybody is busy, and you have a lot on your plate for sure. Okay, we're not gonna get into everything today. But you definitely have a lot on your plate. But what you're doing with People Housing Plus, I think is so amazing. It's detrimental. It's life changing. The work that I've seen, the houses that I've seen, I'm like, okay, we gotta talk about this. And I'm not usually the realtor that's like, oh, there's a grant program or there's this or there's that, because there's always so many stipulations or this, that, and the third. Or like the houses are built in like the worst neighborhoods. But you guys have like kicked all the stigma out the window. So here we are. Okay.
Yes.
So I really want to get into it. How did you get involved with People Housing Plus?
So, People's Housing Plus is actually a merger of 3 organizations.
Okay.
It was originally Home by Hand, Crescent City Community Land Trust, and Tulane Canal Neighborhood Development Corporation. I came from TCNDC, which was Tulane Canal. And my job was to make sure that individuals who look like us were able to get into these homes, right? And so I graduated Tulane University. I had a degree. Well, I have a degree. And
you lost
like I still have it.
Threw that away. No.
And I minored in accounting and finance, and I got my real estate license there, right? And so I started my career out with helping political campaigns as a political consultant with a big firm with Norma Jane Savison.
I can see that.
God rest her soul, right? And we had this one client, I don't want to name the name, but their tax credit was coming up, and now it was time for those individuals who received that subsidized rent to now pay full price. And because our firm was that firm that worked on that project, we're getting a phone call. So here
what am I going to do?
Yes, right? And so then you have a lot of people who are now being displaced or who do not know about options that are available to them to help them actually get into an affordable home, right?
Yeah.
And so I transitioned just a little bit.
Okay.
And then come 2019, I said, like, you know what, let's just step back, because politics was giving me alligator skin. And I was like, oh, no.
That's not good.
It wasn't. And so I wanted to get into something a little bit more smooth where I could sleep at night and not have to worry about those late night phone calls. Yeah. Right?
Rest is important.
It is.
Yes. And skin is even more important. Okay. We always want the skin to be skinny. Okay. So you transition. You're like, okay, I need to step back from that. So I'm going to step into this. And then when did they merge it to People Housing Plus? When did the 3 merge?
So we did a full merger 2023.
Okay.
Right? So the 3 organizations came together because we were all competitors for the same
grants, for the same stuff, right?
And it didn't make sense because each organization mastered one thing, right? Home by Hand was the master of developing homes, getting them out there.
Yes.
Crescent City Community Land Trust created a permanent affordable model, and TCNDC was the educator.
Yeah.
You bring those 3 together, and now we have People's Housing Plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I've done homes by hand. I actually had a client who purchased like a house when it was just home by hand. And it's funny because I was like, what happened to this? Not knowing that they merged. I mean, I think they did great work, but there were some areas where there was a lag. And so the idea of like, let's come together. Why are we competing when we can be growing together is brilliant. And I went to a broker tour, bike tour. There we go. A bike tour that you did. And a lot of the people who work with People Housing Plus were there. And they were just they just gave off, we're good people.
We are. We're really good people. Like, our ultimate goal is to ensure that the public is educated, right? We want to make sure that knowledge is out there so that people understand that home ownership is attainable for you, whatever your income is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's our biggest thing, just making sure that the community knows we're here.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, that's the biggest, I would say, shortage we have is the knowledge. Like, it's not there. Some people don't know where to look. Some people don't know it exists. Some people are afraid to get into it. You know, so the idea that you guys are really getting out there, like you're really getting out. It's not just like sometimes you get a building, you have a business, and then you just expect people to come. If you build it, they will come kind of model, right? But they don't know, especially if like they're the first one in their family to buy. They're the first one to even consider ownership. So I really applaud you all for what you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's talk about like what does it look like for someone to be able to purchase a people housing plus home? Like I know that there's income restrictions. I know that are there credit restrictions? Can they just go with any lender? The general, because there's also specifics, right? But just a general basis, what does it look like if I want to try to buy one of those beautiful homes?
So to purchase one of our homes, first thing first, we ask that you do our application at www.phplusnola.org. From there, we will assess your income. And there's 2 tracks you can take. You can take financial literacy, which is directly with me, or you can be completely ready now and you'll take the track to home ownership with our home buyer services manager, Pamela Aponza, right? Okay. So coming in the door, remember our goal is to make sure that you're able to attain the property, maintain the property, and transfer, you know, at that time. So we always make sure that you have a budget in place, right? How do you have a good relationship with your money? Right. Let's first understand that you know how to access these important documents that you're going to need throughout the home buying process, right? So you come in, you do the application, we assess your current income, and there are credit requirements. To qualify for down payment assistance, you need a 640 credit score, right? There are different institutions that do allow a 580. However, remember, I'm a financial coach. I want to make sure that you understand that 580 comes at an interest rate that will
not as favorable as that 640.
Not favorable at all, right? And so coming in, income, there's the area median income, the AMI chart that we've probably heard so much about. To purchase our homes, you can be at an 80% AMI or up to 140% AMI. Depending upon the land that we acquire, there's a subsidy that's attached to it that then gets offset to the buyer. And so then you will know how much down payment assistance will be available.
Okay. And I was excited when I saw the 140 because if I'm being honest, everything is expensive. So a lot of people's income has increased, even though it doesn't feel like that in their everyday life because they are still financially tapped at times, right? So the idea of going up to 140, because I think before now 120 is the max that I've seen. I've never seen a company do a 140 AMI. So I was like, okay, you know, a little more room to breathe, you know. And then I know you mentioned some of the houses, they have like the grant programs, like the soft second that they could use towards it. But then others are purchased at like market rate. But then that overage, I'm going to call it overage, I'm sure there's a technical term for it, is then used to build more houses that are affordable.
Yes. So the 80% AMI allows you to use the City of New Orleans Soft Second, which is the $55,000 down payment assistance and the $5,000 in closing. However, if we receive a lot from NORA, the New Orleans Redevelopment Association,
it's you knowing all acronyms.
I mean, it's so many, right?
Yeah,
and they just roll.
And then the thing is, most people just say acronyms and don't even know, like, wait, oh, is that what that stands for?
So I have to get better at saying who's the agency, right? And who's ran by the lovely Miss Brenda Breaux. So with NORA, they may be an additional $40,000, right? So then here we are getting $100,000 in down payment assistance, need-based. Remember, affordable housing is need-based, based upon what you need. And so with the 140 house that you mentioned, that is actually a duplex, right? So then now you have the option of living on one side.
Now, wait a minute now. Right? They're getting fancy.
That's a new program with NORA. That's a new program with NORA.
Not existing. And this is why I said she got to come sit down and tell the people. Because finances is financing. Okay? But everybody deserves home ownership. Period. They do. And they deserve to live in areas that they feel comfortable and safe in, and homes that they're proud to have family and friends over to, and that's what you all are offering. But now talk about this double. Hold on now.
Double.
I need notes.
3333 4th Street. That home, it's gonna be a 3-bed, 2.5 on the primary side, and a 1-1 on the secondary side. Right? And so it's a new project that we have. It was a pilot program that NORA put out just to see, you know, what would it look like for an individual to come in. We're talking affordable housing, right? And then with the increased insurance and taxes here in New Orleans, that becomes a big thing because first, let's step back. What is affordable housing, right?
Yeah.
It's a house that you can afford based upon your income. And if your income says that I'm making $5,000 a month, 30% of that $5,000 should be
afford.
allocated toward housing.
Right.
And that's what you can afford. Now, if you're paying 40 or 50, well, then now you're cost burdened with housing, right? And so when people think affordable housing, just think, what can you afford, right? And so when you talk about us building in areas that people want to live in, most of our homes are built in historic areas, right? And we're selling homes below market rate.
Yeah.
So if you're purchasing a home below market rate, you're automatically thinking, I'm walking in with what?
Equity.
Equity, right?
I don't. Now I won't say, but
it's a
I
win-win.
had clients list properties that it was emergency. She lost family. She ended up moving, and that baby, even after paying back, because there's terms and conditions to affordable housing, and she had to live this particular program. I really feel it like it was Nora, but it's been a couple of years, so I don't want to lie, but she had to be there 5 years before it was forgiven, and so she was only there 2. Then she lost her mom and moved with her sister in Texas. So she was like, I need to sell a house, Stylist. And I told her there will be a fine. Even with the fine, this baby walked away with a hefty check.
You said hefty?
Hefty.
I like that.
Because it was it was hefty. Because it was purchased under market value. So she had so much equity. So even with paying the parties back, because everybody got their money because she didn't stay long enough, she still walked away with. We talking
because you have to sell them below market price, right? And so that's normally 10 to 20% depending upon the program. And so just imagine you're purchasing a house in New Orleans, 3 bed, 2 bath. Let's say it's about 1,400 square feet, right? If I want to live in Gentilly, how much you think that house?
About 4.
About
3, not 4, 4.
A good 4, right? Now just imagine I have one 315, right? It's below market already.
Absolutely.
And so then it comes with subsidies that's available for you. So it's a win-win to get into these homes. It's just learning, how do I get myself prepared, right? So applying to our program, we see what is your relationship with your money first, right?
So even if they come to you pre-approved within that AMI, they still need to do the financial, or at least you have to still see what their relationship with
we ask
money
for that budget.
Absolutely.
We do, because they're in our program. And so with the stewardship portion of People's Housing Plus, we don't just have that one transactional relationship with you. We with you for the entire period that you own the home, right?
Nice.
So when there's programs that come about, like the fortified roof, individuals who purchase homes with us, we've built well over 200, closer to the 300 number, right? Gave away 101 furnished homes. So with these homes, gave away, right? We had the Riggio family, owners of Barnes and Noble, who came back to New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina and wanted to help us out, right? And that's what they did. They gave away homes, right? You had some land, you traded your land to get the home built on it, and you got it right back, right? Fully furnished, thanks to Rooms to Go. If Rooms to Go is listening, we would like to renew that relationship.
Renew it, right?
But yes, gave away. So now you've been in that home since Hurricane Katrina, and you need a new roof, right? You're within our program with that stewardship. Once we get access to those funds, you're the first on the list to get a new roof, right? If you're an elderly individual and you need to age in place, you purchased a home, you didn't have a wheelchair ramp, but now you need a wheelchair ramp. Well, then there's a program with the City of New Orleans, Age in Place, where we can get access to funds to fix your home, right? So that you can stay in the home. So there are lots of benefits to buying with People's Housing Plus, right?
And I can guarantee you people are not. I mean, I don't know about it. I talk to you pretty often. I've seen events, and every time I feel like I'm learning a new thing about what they're offering. One, because they've merged and are creating things that they didn't have individually. So that's the first thing. But 2, because they continue to grow with the community. So I know they're not knowing.
They're not. And so that's why January 26th, we're putting on a crew of affordable housing Mardi Gras luncheon, which is free from 11 to 1. Individuals could come out and learn all about the affordable housing process. Buyers, real estate professionals, all alike, come in, and so that we can teach you, right? Because even with you as a realtor, when you're negotiating for your client, remember these funds are need-based, right? So you may come in asking for a certain amount of commission. However, you need to first get that client pre-approved with a lender so you can see what is available, right? And so it's hard for us to then go back and argue, well, hey, no, People's Housing Plus will not put up the money, because remember, we're selling an affordable product that's already below market.
Right.
All of our money is given to the buyer in the subsidy so that they can purchase the home, right? So we're having this event so that we could bridge relationships with real estate professionals as well as buyers so that they can understand this is the product that's available, how it works, and come buy with us.
Yeah, but no, that is very useful information for sure. And I don't see a world where people are not appreciating what you're doing beyond just the house itself. It's like you're giving them the tools to completely change their game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, kudos to y'all.
Thank
Kudos,
you.
kudos. Let's talk about what financial education fitness coach Deneka looks like. Like, what's the class at? What's happening?
So with these classes, right, we do one-on-one financial coaching for
Okay.
anyone who's not comfortable in a group setting.
Oh,
But
that's
even
nice.
once you've completed a 4 to 6 week program,
Mhm.
we do still have the one-on-one sessions, right?
Okay.
So I'm currently partnering with Credit Human, and next year, 2026, well, the time you are watching, it will be 2026.
Mhm.
We will have workshops at each of their 4 branches, which is
Oh.
Magazine, Ferret, Elysian Fields, and the New Gentilly location,
Okay.
where I will go in and have these 4-week sessions, 2 hours. We provide hot meals where individuals will come in and learn about their relationship with their money. Credit Human will then in turn talk about the different products that they offer. And it's more so about goal setting, right? And
Yeah.
getting families to understand this is how money works.
Yeah.
And so some of the things we talk about is like your money habitude. What kind of spender are you, right? Why do you spend the way that you spend? From there, we do a credit review where we have everyone pull their own MyFICO score. So it's not us doing, it's more so of hands-on.
Yes.
Where you, the person, you have to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to show up and want to do, what's best for you and your finances. So once you pull your MyFICO, we then do a credit sweep where we're looking to see what needs to be paid off, right?
Yeah.
Looking at your current income, we then decide, well, what kind of savings goals can you achieve? And then also, how can you pay down debt with the debt mitigation plan, right? But then if you're someone who's just making it by the skin of your teeth, we're also helping you find jobs, right? We're connecting you with programs and resources so that you can increase your income.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But with these workshops, they're very, very, they're needed, right? It is something that we need because we think about it, who taught you about money?
Yeah, you have to figure it out. I mean,
We're figuring it out on our own right now.
And that's not a knock to the generation before us, but if you only go back a few generations, they didn't even have their own money in the possession. I mean, you just started working, so it's like it's all been learned as we go. So absolutely, it's necessary. Even people who feel that they're doing well, I feel can always benefit from a financial fitness class because you could be doing well, but could be doing better. Because a lot of people are emotional spinners. I'm going through some stuff now. I want to go out and eat. I want to, treat myself, and then you don't notice how often you do that. So yeah, it's needed. Agreed. Absolutely.
Correct. And then I come from a Haitian American background, right? And so my relationship with money started with my dad coming to this country and then him learning about this capitalistic society, right? And so as a child, this is how my upbringing was. And so one of the biggest things that we do face in a class of stylists, and it's so hard, is that teaching poor people that you can't help other poor people.
I almost threw the mic.
Right?
Drop the glass.
Like, it's hard when you have to like really pour this into people. I love can't live.
Make eye contact when you sing.
You cannot live check to check and then also have that exact same relationship with a best friend or family member who's living check to check because that cycle of poverty never ends, right?
No.
And then the biggest thing is when you tell that person no, and then now you're losing relationships. And so we teach people how to say no, how to be comfortable with no, right? No, I can't help you pay your rent this month because, I'm going to depend on you to help me pay my bill when you get paid, but your situation with your money is already messed up, right? Being a realtor stylist, you've told clients several times, no co-signing.
Oh, the
right?
co-signing.
You can't. You just can't help them.
And bless their hearts. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help, but you have to help within your ability to do so. You get what I mean? You can't overextend. That's why they say the cup runneth over. You're pouring from an empty cup. If you gotta let it get what's in the saucer.
You said empty cup trying to fill me up.
After the show.
An empty cup is trying to fill you up. Like, just think about it, right? That doesn't make sense.
Then so you both struggling.
Correct.
You're both struggling.
Correct.
And that is something that, as a working through it with clients, it's the comprehension. It's the that's my sister. That's my mom. But that's my brother. And okay, And they will still be that if you don't do it.
You're
Because
correct.
now, instead of you doing, because if you allow yourself, even if you don't do it temporarily and you get to a certain position, you may be in a position to actually be able to do it. But when you're doing it when you can't, you'll never be okay. They'll never be okay because they haven't. And so you're both just struggling for no reason. That's so crucial. And I see that more than I would
It's so
like
bad.
to admit.
It's really bad. And the one thing that we really stress is that, think about it. If I messed up my credit, right? I messed mine up.
Yeah.
How can you trust me to protect yours?
Exactly. You can't.
It's impossible. It won't happen, right? And then you're breaking through generations of this poverty cycle.
Yeah.
To find the one who wants to come out, right?
Yeah.
Like even with home ownership, and you're trying to teach people you can do it, right? We're selling homes with mortgages as low as $700, but because my mama didn't do it, my sister didn't do it, my auntie didn't do it, right? You're comfortable paying someone else's rent, right? Building up someone else's generational wealth.
Well, paying their mortgage. You still pay. I would say you will always be paying a mortgage, is either yours or someone else's.
And you know what
somebody
I say?
own that house.
You'll always be building someone else's generational wealth.
Period.
Because my dad came here, he purchased those doubles. Those doubles are paid off, right? But those people are constantly helping us build our generational wealth, right? So whose generational wealth is important to you?
Build? Yours or theirs?
That is correct.
Period.
That's correct.
And the fact that you say it's $700 and you're still convincing, because I know for me, 80% of my job is not real estate. Like you would think it, but it's not. It's counseling. It's educating. It's financial fitness. It's convincing them that they can do what I know they can do because I've already done it with hundreds of people before them. That's how this even came about. When we finish, like when I'm finished with certain clients where they are the first to purchase or the first whatever, they're like, "Oh my God, you need to share this information. So many people need to know." And it's like, "How can you share?" And I'm like, "Okay, let me fast. Let me talk to the Most High. Let me see what He says." And that's how the podcast came about, because it's like I want to try to provide as much information as I can to eliminate the fear, because they didn't do it, or because they. So many people give advice on something they never did, which I think is crazy. You can never give me advice on something you didn't do. You understand? If you didn't graduate, you can't give me advice on how I can graduate. If you was never married, you can't give me advice on how I can get married. You just can't. I mean, I will be open. Don't get me wrong, but to listen to it as if it's law and you've never owned anything, but they said I can't do this. Of course they said it because they couldn't. But
because they didn't believe they could, or they tell you somebody else's story.
Exactly.
Right? And then that's another thing. Going by what someone else told them and they believing it to be true and not believing it for themselves. Like it is hard, right? But it's so many barriers that you have to break through with individuals just to get to the point where you're like, hey, you're a homeowner now.
Now look at you now.
Yeah, right now. You're a homeowner, right? You've broke the cycle, right? You're paying less in mortgage than that friend who has a handle voucher that's paying in rent, right? And they still don't believe that they can do it.
Yeah.
So it's rewarding, especially when you see the looks on their faces at that closing table and they're reading it now, right?
Yeah.
I got this amount of money.
Yeah.
I got this amount of money in assistance. This is my mortgage. And then financial literacy, I'm going to teach you how to pay it off in 15 years.
And I'm adamant about that. We're not giving them 30 years. We're not paying 30 years of interest. So, and then it's a nice house. It's not like
it's a brand new.
Yes, it is.
3 bed, 2 bath, all appliances included. Stainless steel. Right, fortified roofs.
Wait, look into your camera. Your camera is available now. Is it not? Go ahead, look into your camera and tell them.
What did we say? 3 bed, 2 bath, stainless steel appliances, over 1,300 square feet, fortified roofs. Your insurance will be extremely low, depending upon what type of house you buy. If it's a community land trust, which we didn't have much time to talk about today, those homes come with the land subsidy where you're only paying about $500 to $600 for a mortgage, but everything's included.
No, we got a few.
We give you the whole package, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta bring your furniture. Now
Yeah.
again,
Well,
if we get that partnership back,
in the name together, rooms to go,
right? If we get that partnership back, where we're able to assist affordable families with getting into homes, I mean, like, it would be mind-boggling, right? Because the first thing they want to do when they purchase a home is walk in with new furniture. Nobody's bringing the old stuff, right?
Yeah, because it's your new house.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And in financial literacy, we help you budget for it. I don't tell people no, right? I don't want to say no. I'm not the person that says, hey, stop buying the $10 coffee. Don't get your nails done, right? Because a lot of this stuff becomes self-care. I don't know what it's like to be a single mom raising 3 kids on my own and just being able to sit down in the nail salon by myself, paying that $100. But this is the one thing that makes me want to get up the next day and do this again, right? So I'm not the one that says no. I am the one who tells you, let's plan for it, let's budget for it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to have to cook a meal 3, 4, 5 days a week, right? And make sure that children have access to meals. So if you have to go to the fast food restaurant, or if you have to go
Eat
out,
out.
like, some of these things you have to do, right? Because your time is like,
It's valuable.
It's very valuable. Right. I'm not going to say no, but let's budget for it. Let's find a way to make it work within your finances. Yeah. Right? And we need that.
So I'm going to do 2 things because we're going to make the time. The first thing is the financial class that you all do, especially the ones you're doing at Credit Human at the 4 different locations. Is it open to anyone, or it has to be somebody that's applied?
No, it's open to anyone. However, that when you do start the classes, if you would like to move forward, we do ask that you apply to the program so you could benefit from the one-on-one financial coaching. Okay. Yes, I need you in my system. I have to track you.
Absolutely. Yes. And you do track.
I do.
Because we had a client, he's like, oh, she's in my system. So you do track. Okay, and then my second thing is, you said we didn't have time to go into the land trust, but no, let's just go into that. Really, it don't have to be extensive, but tell me about that program because I haven't heard much about that one.
The community land trust. So you will hear a lot about this coming up right now. This is the permanently affordable model where you buy the improvement, which is the building, and a land trust holds retains the land rights, right? And so then in this situation, it will be us, the nonprofit. Remember, nonprofits do not pay taxes on land. Right. So when we talk about these areas that are desirable, we're building in Broadmoor coming up, right? Oh, everyone wants to live in Broadmoor.
I have a listing coming up there, by the way.
I bet it's not $150,000 for a brand new 3-bed, 2-bath home.
It's $500,000,
right? So just imagine we're building in Broadmoor. That's coming up, and with those homes, you purchase the building, and you're going to pay a lease fee, which is $25, and another $25 for repair reserve, right? Okay. But it's a brand new home, so you probably won't have any major repairs coming in. However, with this permanent model, you can still will it to family. It's just that in the event that you want to sell the home has to be sold back to someone within that 80% AMI, right? So you're paying it forward. However, if you keep it in your possession, it doesn't matter, right? But this is something that we're very passionate about because everyone can't buy a home at a fee simple rate, right? Like, we can't buy your $1 million listing, but you're telling me that, I could live around that $1 million listing,
yeah,
right?
I will, right?
Like, it's possible. And so that's what I like about People's Housing Plus, because we're choosing, when these lots are then put out on the RFPs, right? Request for proposals.
There you go. I was like,
with that RFP, like, people. We're choosing the best of the best, usually, right? We don't want something that, individuals like, I don't want to live in this area. It won't be something that we want. So we try to find properties with lots that are in desirable locations where individuals will feel comfortable raising families in, right? And so with the CLTs that are coming up, these homes will sell at $150,000. They will have up to $60,000 in down payment assistance, which means you only need to qualify for a $90,000 mortgage, right? Remember that money is also need-based, but this is a perfect program for individuals who have the handle vouchers, right? Because remember, they still have the rent breakdown. They'll help you pay your mortgage for 30 years. If you're disabled, 15. If you're not, but coming through our program, we'll teach you how just making 4 additional payments a year, you'll be able to pay off that home in 15. Yeah. So, yes.
Ooh, child. So for clarity, because, this is a lot that you've given them. For clarity, there is an income max here. This is not for everyone. If I would go out and buy $100,000 today, you don't even need to be built. But it's not every income rate. But it is increased to a point where you could be making pretty good money and still qualify for it. And that's why I said that 140 was impressive, 140% of AMI. So I'm going to let her give you the information where you can go on a site and see what those caps are. But it is opening doors for a lot of people who maybe couldn't have purchased before or couldn't purchase what they wanted. Because now you're offering them what they want. Yes. New construction. And these homes are beautiful. I've seen them for myself. I'm like, this is nice. They ain't got no roaches or nothing. I'm like,
No roaches. No rats
This all
either.
you. No. So no, it's been very, very beautiful homes. So I applaud you off what you're doing. I will be bringing clients your way. And you can work with a realtor. You don't have to, like, they actually partner with realtors. And even though you say, like, oh, we have funds for this, so we may not be able to do that, you've offered bonuses before to realtors too, and I appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
So,
We do.
So, and as a result, I feel like the realtors that you connect with, myself included, we want to get the word out because of all that you're doing. And because I feel like as a realtor, we've all had clients that's like, oh, they're so deserving, but it's like the money is just not there. And sometimes it's not because they don't make money, it's because they have so much going on. And that's where this financial fitness would help. It's just you're overall improving their quality of life.
That is true. And then another thing, like working with realtors, you have to understand that we have relationships with different vendors, right? But when we talk about affordable housing, you have to use a specific vendor. So if your lender is your lender, if your lender is not on the City of New Orleans approved list, I ask that you help them get approved ASAP so that you can continue that relationship. But that's why most people don't know, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking about that 30-day close. This isn't a 30-day close process. We're going to boost that number up to like 45 to 90 days. However, at the end, you're going to love it. And then we also work with Jay Daniels at Infinity Title. Who
shout out to Jay.
Always. Infinity Title.
Attorney Jay Daniels because he won't do it
again. Infinity Title. Jay Daniels, amazing work. He does our free wills, right? So individuals who purchase homes with us, you walk away from that table also with the will estate planning in place, right? So it's no longer waiting until the end of the road.
Right.
You know from the very beginning who you're going to deliver this property to in the event that you are no longer with us.
Which is how you truly create generational wealth. Because with nothing in place, people don't realize that you can lose homes, you can lose properties. When you have nothing in place, sometimes the government, the state comes in and tells you how to dictate what was yours. So, yeah, that's brilliant.
It's amazing. I love the work that we do. I think that this is meaningful, right?
It is. I think it's matter of fact. It's very meaningful.
We can sell homes all day, right? But just knowing that I've helped a family who in turn will then educate other members of that family to get them into home ownership is the goal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you again. Oh my goodness. I really don't want to stop because it's so much.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Let's keep going.
Event. No, I mean it. A lot of my clients talk about how I fight for my clients. And I do because I got into this because I want to create generational wealth. I want to help those who can help themselves. Thank God he sends me a mix of clients and I get to see luxury houses and I get to sell those too. But guess what? Some of those luxury clients or as a result of the fighting early on, their first house was not a luxury buy. And now they're in a place where we're buying houses with pools and an acre of land and all these things. And so I think it matters when you're passionate about what you do and when you know you can make a difference. So I just want to say kudos to you for choosing this. It's not easy.
It's not.
We know that. We didn't get into the difficult. We really be put the hair up, boots on, really fighting for this. Okay, I'm fighting for my life.
It is trauma-informed financial coaching. It is very hard, right? Because it's not just, I don't have the job. It's not just, I don't have the credit score. We're dealing with years and years of trauma to get people to a point where they could feel like I can own, right? Or I can have something beautiful, right? To give to my kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, since you are a giver, I will gift you a little token of my appreciation for coming through today.
It's a beautiful gold bag.
I cannot play with you. Yes, it is because I love gold. I think that's why I make everything gold. But me too. So, but it's just a little token. It's not much, but I just want to say thank you for stopping in. I know that in this economy, we're all working hard. We're all trying to serve our purpose, our bigger whatever that is, right, and do what we can. But I don't want anybody to miss out. I really don't. And I really want to provide a space where they can come and I'm going to leave better. If I sit down and watch this podcast, I'm going to feel empowered. I'm going to and I can't do that without people like you who are doing the work that you're doing. So thank you.
And I thank you so much for having me. And then also just seeing that People's Housing Plus is a place where people will be able to create generational wealth and that we are true people, loving people, willing to give back.
Yes, absolutely. And so, in order for you to connect, in order for you to contact, to grow, to learn, I'm going to have Danica give you the contact information. If you decide you want to buy, make sure you call me. I will help you through the process, connect you with her. She will help you with the finances, and we will all meet at the closing table. So, Danica, tell them how they can get started.
So yes, to get started with People's Housing Plus, you would go to our website at www.phplusnola.org and you will select apply. On that application, you will put that you were referred by your realtor, Stylist Bartholomew. And you will select what program that you're interested in, whether if it's financial fitness or if it's home ownership. From there, we'll get you in contact with our intake specialist and we'll start the process. You can also follow us on social media at PH Plus NOLA. That is Instagram, Facebook, and I believe LinkedIn as well.
Oh,
Right?
fancy me.
So come
Yeah.
follow us. Come learn some more about us. And then join our newsletter. You'll be able to get my financial fitness tips that I send out every other Friday. But it's probably going to go back to just once a month. But I do teach.
Well, listen,
Yes.
you've been doing a good bit of stuff. So I understand if you have to revert to once a month because you send out a lot of things. You're really good about staying on top of stuff, and I applaud you for that, for the consistency. And I applaud you all for checking in and just wanting to do and be better. Very, very proud of you in advance. If you already have keys, congratulations. But if you need keys of any kind, whether it is your first bill, your investment, whatever, be sure to call me, reach out, contact. I got you covered. And if you're watching this show and you have more questions, maybe from People Housing Plus or just anybody that's already been on the show, you can email me at stylist@realestatewithstyle.org. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe at It's Giving Realty Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube, where you found this lovely podcast. Until next time.
Cheers.
Thank you.